Hey Bookish Babes, and welcome to my book nook.
We are monsters. We give and we take.
For those that are new around here, the name's Rainy. I read all types of books, primarily fantasy romance, so if you're interested in that, please like and subscribe to my channel down below. I apologize for the bad quality again. I cannot find my memory card still, so I'm about to just have to give up and get a new one, but I just haven't had time. I've been a little busy. We'll survive. We're thriving, okay? Today's video is going to be my January book haul. So I have decided that I'm going to do monthly book hauls for this year because I want to hold myself accountable. And no, I am not going to be one of those people that says I'm going to read every book that I buy in 2025 because we both know that's crap. We both know that's not going to happen. Like, it's not. I'm not even going to necessarily shoot for 50%. And I know that's also a wild take. I am going to shoot for a third. Hoping for 50, but a third. Why? Why, you ask? I collect a lot of special editions, and I don't always get to the special editions, but does that mean that I'm just going to unhaul it? No. Although, here's what we'll do. If I don't read at least a third of these books have got to go. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be these books, but it has to be books to match up, okay? And I think that's valid because I'm also doing that for my TBRs this year, like my monthly TBRs. Like if I don't read those books, then I have to unhaul the same amount of books so that like I'm offsetting the cost. And honestly, it's been working pretty well for me. It's making me read more. So, plus it's going to be helping me get rid of books that don't need to be on my shelves already. So I think that is a fabulous way to start. However, let's see how many books we actually have to talk about in January, and then I'll show you the books. We have 26. Yeah, it was a lot. But I didn't buy all these. I bought a lot of them. But I didn't buy all these. And I almost didn't buy any of these at half price. Or at full price, okay? So let's just go in no order, but just in order of when I logged them. Editing Rainy to say that I did not buy 26 books because some of these were sold. And I have them on the same list. So I actually only have 21 books. Well, I'm quite literally annoyed because I already can't find one of the books that I just freaking hauled. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. We're just going to talk about it on the screen. The first two are from Aardvark. They were my January picks, but they literally didn't show up until the 31st of January because they got lost in the mail. And so they had to send it to me again. So I got Under Lock and Key by Lana Ferguson. I didn't really have an interest in picking up Lana Ferguson, even though like she's a popular contemporary romance author. But she's going to be at Villains and Vixens, and I figured it'd be nice to meet her because she is one of the biggest authors there. Just to meet her and stuff, so I figured I'd try her newest, like, Scotland, like, what is it called? The Loch Ness Monster type romance, and see what I think of it. So, that's the first book. I also got The Reformatory by Tanana Redo, however you say her name, which I'm very excited about because I wanted it when they first had it and then just didn't get to it. And then I saw it on their list again and I went, wait a minute, didn't they already feature this? And then I realized this was their book of the year. So it's actually, first off, it's signed. Super cool. They did a nice little special edition for it. So that was actually very exciting. And I only found that out because Brie posted it in her video today. I didn't even realize it was a special edition. I didn't even realize that's what Aardvark did. So those are my two books that I got from Aardvark. I do have a book box subscription. I don't do it every month. I skipped this month because I wasn't interested in any of the books. Although now that I think about it, I kind of wish I had gotten Hungerstone. So like I still could, but maybe next month. Then I picked up a book for secret purposes. And I can't tell you why I bought it. But I bought it, and that is Servant of Earth by Sarah Hawley. I have been interested in this book for a hot minute, and that's all you're going to get about that. But I needed it for reasons. And my friend Becky from Bex Reads actually did a giveaway for her top 10 books of this year and said that, like, you could, like, pick which one you wanted to get, and then she would spin the wheel, and like whoever got it got that book for free, and I won. So I got Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John Wiswell. I'm very excited about this. I've heard it's like whimsically weird and romantic and horror-y, and like honestly those are a lot of buzzwords for me. Do I have a plan for this soon? Yes, I'm hoping I get to this soon, but I just don't know when. Then I have some books that I bought with Christmas money, and upon second thought, I shouldn't have bought these. I'm trying to be a lot more diligent about the books that I let into my household that like actually have a fair chance of being read versus ones that don't. And 2 out of 3 of these, I mean, if we're honest, all 3 probably don't have a chance of being read anytime soon. And so I need to stop buying books just because they're cheap. And so I stopped after this. But these 3 were still bought. The first one was Spinning Silver by Naomi Novak. I only paid like $4 for this. I've been wanting to try a Naomi Novak. However, I just don't see myself itching to pick this up at any time soon. So I probably shouldn't have bought it. But alas, I did. Same thing with Eric LaRocca, The Trees Grew Because I Bled There. I have only read one Eric LaRocca before, but I very much enjoyed it. I only got this for $9, and it is a short story collection, and I am still intrigued. I do like his writing, but it's just, I'm never itching to pick this up. However, this literally would be the perfect book to read for the mid-month chaos in this weekend, because it's only 200 pages. I could very much do that then. That might be a good pick. And then I also picked up Before the Devil Knows You're Here by Autumn Krause, and I literally only picked this up because the cover was like really stunning. But then I found out that it's a Paul Bunyan, Johnny Appleseed YA horror. And I don't know if those are buzzwords that should have spoke to me, but they kind of did. So I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to get to this, but it's intriguing me. It's doing something for me. Then we finally have a book that I actually read. I bought this book because I saw it in Books A Million. It was indie published. I hardly ever see indie published books there, and so I bought it right away, and that is The Hunted Heir by Holly Renee. I never took the bookmark out. The Cassidy. Covers with Cassidy bookmark. I'll keep it in there for now. Anyway, it is the second book to The Veiled Kingdom, which I absolutely loved. The Veiled Kingdom. Didn't love this. This was a 3-star. Really should have been 2.5 star. This book did nothing to move the plot forward. I don't really understand why it was written. And I said that in one of my vlogs that I'll link underneath here. But this was nothing special. But I did read it. Then we have a book that I bought at Books A Million. I'm pretty sure I bought 2 books at Books A Million. It was like buy one, get one half off or something like that. And you know I can't resist a good deal. So I picked up Fate of the Sun King by Nisha J. Tooley because I own the first 2 books in this series and I really liked book 1. And so I do want to continue on with this series. However, I think I have the indie edition of books 1 and 2. And this is the traditionally published edition. So that's kind of aggravating because they're like matte. They're different, like matte quality and like a lot of things. But it's fine. I hope to continue with this at some point. And then the other book that I bought for that half off one was Gold by Raven Kennedy, which I think is the 5th book in the Plated Prisoner series. Have I read a single Plated Prisoner series book yet? No. Do I own every single one of them? Yes. But I just feel like this is a series I'm going to like. Okay, this is a series I'm going to like, and I like these editions, okay? I like the chunky, floppy paperback. Then we have a book that I was gifted / not. So what I mean is I was a host in the Ever After Readathon hosted by my friend Crystal, okay? And I did that in December. And so as a thank you to all the hosts, she mailed us a book, like off our wish list, which was so freaking sweet. However, she sent me the first book in the prequel series to JLA, so like A Shadow in the Ember. And she bought that the same week that my friend had given me Christmas gifts, and it was the same exact book. It was the same book. So I was like, I don't need 2 copies of it. So I asked her if I could return it and buy a different book off of my wish list. And it just so happens that I picked the book that they're reading for their book club this month, and I'm going to hopefully join them on the live show for. And that is Anathema by Carrie Lake. I have been itching to get to this bad boy. And I know that there was a book club that I was in recently that read this, and I didn't get to it in time. So I'm just excited that I'm finally getting to it. And I did stick her note in here because I do like to keep the notes. I normally tape them in when people get me gifts. And so, yeah. Thank you, Crystal. Then we had Pango Bucks, and you can't not use Pango Bucks. And so I picked up White Horse Black Knight by Evie Marceau. I've been wanting to read this for a minute just because of the description that somebody gave. Like, it was very, like, an interesting premise. A girl that has to do a journey, but she's, like, naked on the back of a horse with a man. I don't really understand. Okay, that's all I've really heard. However, I put this on my 25 and 25, and I didn't actually own it. And so I knew if I actually wanted that to happen, I needed to physically own it. And it is part of a series, so I'm hoping that I really enjoy it. And then we'll just continue on. Then I bought the ebook for Malice by John Gwynn, which was only $6. And no, I have not finished it yet because I was doing a buddy read of that with Brittany and Thrasha. But I didn't want to buy the physical in case I didn't love it. And while I'm not hating it, I'm not loving it because I'm not understanding it. But I'm already 40% in, so I don't feel like I can buy the audio. Well, I could, but I don't want to buy the audio, I guess is what I'm saying. So I'm just kind of stuck. And I don't really know what I'm going to do about that. It's rather unfortunate. I'm also tracking when I buy audios too versus like using a credit. And I did buy the audio for Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle because it was like cheap. And while I didn't necessarily love the story of Bury Your Gaze, I loved the message that it had to say. So like, I still do recommend this book, but I did read it. Then I was at Target, and you know Target books are cheap, and I've been wanting this book for a minute because everyone and their mom is reading it, but I haven't read it yet, and that's Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. I just want to read this fun little spicy dark romance that's like Butcher and Blackbird-esque coded. I feel like I'll have a good time with it, like a masked stalker, like I'm in. I know I have problems, but it's okay. I'm gonna like this anyway. Then obviously I went out and got this on official release day on Storm, and I am currently at exactly 50% of this bad boy. And fun fact, I'm not loving my life. And I know that's a hot take, okay? But I am reading this, so I count this as a check. I have read this, okay? Because I am going to finish this. I'm literally 50% in, like, I am invested. Then we picked up God of Wrath by Miss Rena Kent because I'm obsessed with this series after reading God of Malice, and I just know that I'm going to eat these up. I did buy this thinking it was the second book, and it's not. It's the third, so I need to pick up God of Pain. But I want to physically own these because I do want to go back eventually and tab these. Yes, I know. I'm like dark and disturbed for wanting to tab this extremely dark romance, but I just love these people. I love this world. It's doing something for me. Then I have already bought and sold this book and bought and sold it for the same amount. I had bought Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix and got a half off at Books A Million because they do like the most top 10 books of the week are half off. So I bought it for $15, sold it for $15 on Pango. There were things that happened in that book. I had to DNF it that just were not, it wasn't sitting right with like my soul. And so I had to DNF. And I'm sad about it because I was actually liking a book of his for once, but it just went too dark for me. So, alas, I count that though, because I did read like almost 50% of that book. And then last but not least, we're going to go with my book of the month books for January. Technically, I bought them in January, but they're for February, but we're just going to count them because from when I log them. I log them from the day that I buy them. And so the first one was First Time Caller by B.K. Borson. I have read Love Light Farms by them, and I gave that a 5-star and just never continued on with that series, and I don't really know why. But I feel like I'm going to like this because I really liked Love Light Farms. So we're going to give this a whirl. Plus, this was the only book that I wanted. And you have to buy one of the books of their actual books of the month. Actually, no. I think there was another book that I could have gotten, but I went with this instead. However, there were several add-on books that I wanted to get. There was like 4, and so I'm going to have to save 2 of them for next time. I really wanted Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli because I just read Heartless Hunter and absolutely ate it up. So I'm probably going to read this during Romanticy-a-thon. In fact, I know I'm going to read this during Romanticy-a-thon because I just can't wait to see how this all pans out. But then I also really wanted The Favorites by Lane Fargo because Lane Fargo is one of my favorite authors. I absolutely loved They Never Learned, and I loved Temper from her. And this is like a dark contemporary fiction about ice skating, and I've heard it's like very Daisy Jones versus, not Evelyn Hugo. Well, I guess Evelyn Hugo too. Carrie Soto vibes. And I'm already 40% in, and I highly agree with that statement, which is why I'm eating this up. I'm having a great freaking time with this. Well, out of 21 books, that means I have only read 5.5, which is not great. I don't think that's a third. It's almost a third because 7 would be that. So we have some work to do, but I do have some of these books in the works for future times, okay? So with that being said, thanks for watching this video. If you got to the end, let's put a phone emoji because I see First Time Caller. Let me know what your favorite book that you're most excited to get to that you hauled in January was. And a special thank you to all of my patrons and my Patreon in my residence themed Patreon. I love you very, very much. You can always join with the information underneath this video. And with that, I'll see you in a video very soon. Bye.